Hello dear friends, welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy and compassion of God, and our moments also with the holy ones of God. And I often mention about these holy ones, especially when we have an important known saint in the Catholic Church, like today we will have one. But all that is possible when we are aware of the journey that we are on, particularly the spiritual journey. Why? Because today we celebrate the feast of Saint Bonaventure, and he wrote a book called The Journey of the Mind to God. The Journey of the Mind to God. So it can be a journey of our soul to God, it can be a journey of different type, but it can be called also a spiritual journey. And why I mention this is because I myself am on a spiritual journey and invite you also to track and trace your own spiritual journey. Have you already begun it? Are you in the middle of it? Or are you towards the end of it? Or are you began but then you got lost, etc.? There are various possibilities. But please also ask your friends and families to subscribe to the channel and press the like button, and also write your comments below, because that helps the algorithms to reach to wider. Please take a little trouble. Thank you very much. Yes, as I mentioned, today on the 15th of July, the church celebrates the feast of Saint Bonaventure. Saint Bonaventure was born in 1217. This is just 9 years before Saint Francis of Assisi died. So they actually never met. He was only a 9-year-old child, but he was born also in Italy. Francis of Assisi was also an Italian. But it so happened that when he was a child, Bonaventure, he got very seriously ill. And his mother prayed to Saint Francis of Assisi for his healing. And a miracle did take place. And he was cured. When he was cured, and when he realized that it was through the intercession of Francis, his whole soul was lifted up. And at the age of 20, he decided to join the Franciscan order. Remember, the Franciscan order was very new at this stage. So he joined the order, became a Franciscan. Then he studied theology and became a very famous theologian, so much so that he was teaching theology in the University of Paris, where he also made the famous theologian Thomas Aquinas. And once in their conversation, Thomas Aquinas asked him, "From where do you get this wisdom?" And he pointed out to the crucifix behind him, or a crucifix here, that it is all, the light is all from above, from Jesus. So he was a very famous Franciscan, great theologian and intellectual, and followed deeply on the footsteps of Francis of Assisi. So his first book, as I was just mentioning, was about the journey of the mind to God. And that in that he has 6 steps to reach God. Wonderful, isn't it? But the first step, he says, is to see God in nature. And that's why I have come to this forest. You see this beautiful forest all around here. And what Bonaventure is saying, that nature is a book written by God. You see these beautiful trees. Some of these trees are cut, but then you can see in the distance a beautiful forest, and it goes on. You see all around here there is a the water flowing there, and this is a beautiful place, as you can see. But what Bonaventure found out was that this nature is actually the footprint of God. So God's writing is all over this. So from this, then he went on to other steps to go first external, this forest, and then our senses, physical senses. Then he moves from there to the inner self, our soul, our intellect, our will, etc. And then he goes further on to the 5th and 6th step, where we find God and the divine. So it's a wonderful journey actually, and the title of the book I find very interesting, The Journey of the Mind to God. And let me just once again say here, I don't know if I have said this earlier on your program, that I too was once, when doing my PhD, was only purely on intellectual journey. There was very little of God there. I have no hesitation in confessing that before people. God was, well, I was a priest saying Mass there, but it was more of a routine thing that I was doing, what I had learned and what I was supposed to do. But there was no element of journey there. There was no element of a search for deeper relationship with God or deeper realities of God or deeper aspects of God. God expresses himself in various ways. So certainly this nature, for example, is purely a footprint of God, but God's footprint then is found within ourselves. That's why in the beginning of the program I always say to turn our attention onto ourselves. We may miss the footprints of God in this beautiful nature. You see all those lovely trees right behind. We may miss it. Maybe we have no access to the forest. Or we may also miss what is happening into our intellect here, or the will. But we cannot miss the inner journey where God abides. That is a very intimate relationship with God. And Bonaventure, who was a great mystic and known for his intellect, but at the same time his following of God. And I think it is a wonderful thing. It really, I'm telling you, it makes me very happy within that life of intellect of the university is left far behind. That was 30 years ago, and now there is a different move or a movement in my life, and I am inviting all of you, and that's why I take the trouble to bring the Word of God to you all every day. And it is not an easy job, I am telling you. I am doing this already for 2 years and 3 months, every day without fail. And I invite you also to please join in this journey. It's a beautiful journey, much more beautiful than this nature which I love, and I go around every day in these forests. But the inner journey is much more beautiful. It brings us greater peace. It makes us more loving towards others. It makes us also more lovable. We ourselves become lovable to people who meet us. And my dear friends, once again, if you like, you may please subscribe to the channel and follow the example of Saint Bonaventure to bring the good news of Jesus Christ to the whole world. Thank you very much.